Imagine hovering above your own body as doctors frantically work to revive you. You're clinically dead, yet you're fully aware, feeling a strange calm, and then suddenly a blinding light appears. Could this be the afterlife calling, or is it just a trick of the mind, a hallucination? Stay with us, because by the end of this video you might just question everything you think you know about life and death. For as long as humans have existed, we've been haunted by the same question: what happens when we die? Across cultures and generations, stories of near-death experiences, NDEs, have surfaced again and again, leaving us wondering, are they a glimpse into the afterlife or simply a figment of our imagination? Today, we'll take you on a journey through the extraordinary, often chilling accounts of those who've crossed the threshold of death and come back. But we won't stop there. We'll uncover what science has to say about these experiences, including the mind-blowing results from cutting-edge research. Trust me, you'll want to stay till the end. So, what exactly are near-death experiences? A near-death experience typically occurs when someone is on the verge of death or has been declared clinically dead, only to be resuscitated. And here's where it gets really interesting. Many people who go through NDEs report eerily similar phenomena, such as the sensation of leaving their body, seeing a bright light, or encountering deceased loved ones. But are these consistent experiences a clue that something real, something beyond our understanding is happening? Or are they just the brain's final, desperate attempt to make sense of the dying process? Let's take a look at some of the most remarkable real-life cases. Pam Reynolds was undergoing surgery for a brain aneurysm in 1991. The doctors had to bring her to the brink of death. Her body was cooled, her heartbeat was stopped, and the blood drained from her brain. For all intents and purposes, she was dead. Yet when she was revived, Pam recounted vivid details of her surgery, describing the surgical tools used and even conversations that took place in the room. Things she couldn't possibly have known given that her brain was completely inactive. The accuracy of her account stunned the medical team. How could Pam possibly describe what happened when her brain wasn't even functioning? Is there an explanation, or did she experience something beyond science? And then there's the case of Anita Moorjani. In 2006, after battling terminal cancer for 4 years, Anita slipped into a coma. During this time, she experienced what she described as a realm of pure consciousness, meeting her deceased father. What's more, she was given a choice to return to her body or cross over to the other side. Anita chose to return, and to the shock of her doctors, her cancer began to disappear. Within weeks, she was completely healed. Her doctors had no explanation. Was Anita's healing just a miraculous coincidence, or was her near-death experience tied to something greater than we can understand? Let's not forget Dr. Eben, a Harvard-trained neurosurgeon who used to dismiss NDEs as mere hallucinations, until he had one himself. In 2008, he slipped into a week-long coma after contracting a rare brain infection. During that time, he experienced a vivid journey to what he called the core of existence, meeting angelic beings and traveling through a place that felt more real than the world we know. When he woke up, his view of consciousness was forever changed. If a scientist trained in the workings of the brain could have an experience that defied everything he knew, what does that say about our understanding of death and consciousness? What does science say about all of this? A groundbreaking study published in the Lancet in 2001 examined 344 cardiac arrest survivors across multiple hospitals. Astonishingly, 18% of these patients reported having a near-death experience. Common themes included out-of-body experiences, traveling through a tunnel, and intense feelings of peace. In 2014, Dr. Parnia, an expert in resuscitation science, conducted an even more ambitious study. He examined over 2,000 patients across 15 hospitals who had been revived after cardiac arrest. One of the most extraordinary cases involved a man who described specific details of his resuscitation process, despite being clinically dead for several minutes. He accurately recalled what the medical team was doing, what the machines sounded like, and even specific conversations they had while he was unresponsive. How could someone with no brain activity recall such details? Is it possible that consciousness exists outside of the brain? In 2013, a study conducted by the University of Michigan discovered something fascinating. When rats were near death, their brain activity spiked, releasing a surge of chemicals. This suggests that as the brain loses oxygen, it produces a hyper-real state, which could explain some of the vivid imagery reported during near-death experiences. But here's the twist. This spike in brain activity lasts for only a few seconds. For people who report lengthy, detailed near-death experiences that seem to last minutes, sometimes even hours, how do we explain the passage of time? As we've seen, there are scientific theories that attempt to explain near-death experiences, but for every scientific explanation, there are stories that defy logic. One of the most famous cases is that of Colton Burpo, the young boy whose story inspired the best-selling book Heaven is for Real. When Colton was just 4 years old, he underwent emergency surgery and had a near-death experience. He described meeting Jesus and seeing a sister he never knew he had. His parents had miscarried before Colton was born, and they had never told him. How could a child too young to comprehend death come back with such specific and profound details? Then there's the work of Dr. Jim Tucker at the University of Virginia's Division of Perceptual Studies, who has spent years studying children who recall past lives. many of whom have also had near-death experiences. In some cases, these children provide detailed memories of lives they couldn't have known about, describing people, places, and events that were later verified. One such case involved a boy who recounted vivid details of being a World War II pilot, down to the specific aircraft and crew members he had flown with. These details were later corroborated through historical records. How do we explain these memories, especially in children who are too young to have learned about such things? One of the most fascinating aspects of near-death experiences is how profoundly they change people's lives. According to a survey by the International Association for Near-Death Studies, 95% of people who have had a near-death experience report a permanent shift in their worldview. Many lose their fear of death entirely and gain a deeper sense of purpose, often becoming more empathetic and spiritually aware. Let's repeat that. 95% of those who had near-death experiences say it changed their lives forever. Some go on to pursue careers in healing or spiritual guidance, feeling as though they've been given a second chance at life with a mission to help others. So what's the truth? Are near-death experiences just illusions created by a dying brain, or do they offer a glimpse into something far greater? Perhaps consciousness isn't just confined to our physical bodies. Perhaps just maybe death isn't the end, but a transition into a new form of existence. We may never know for sure, but the more we learn, the more it seems that death is not as final as we once thought. And if that's true, what awaits us on the other side? You've heard the stories, you've seen the science. Now it's up to you to decide. If this video left you with more questions than answers, you're not alone. The mysteries of life after death continue to baffle even the brightest minds. But one thing is certain: their profound impact on the individual, regardless of the specifics, whether near-death experiences, reincarnation memories, or spiritual encounters. People who report such experiences frequently describe a significant shift in their perspective on life. This may include a stronger sense of purpose, reduced fear of death, and increased belief in a spiritual or interconnected dimension to existence. While the nature of the afterlife remains a mystery, the transformative effect on those who believe they've glimpsed it is a recurring theme. So, what do you believe? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the universe, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.